Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Financial Podcast. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that has sparked considerable debate and raises significant questions about public spending and national priorities: the upcoming massive military parade in Washington, D.C. This grand event, slated for June 14th, 2025, is officially organized to commemorate the U.S. Army's 250th anniversary, a significant milestone for the nation's oldest military branch. However, its substantial price tag and curious timing have transformed it into a genuine financial flashpoint, prompting intense scrutiny from taxpayers and lawmakers alike over how their hard-earned dollars are being allocated. The parade is poised to be an extraordinarily elaborate spectacle, promising to roll heavy tanks and showcase thousands of impeccably disciplined troops marching through the historic streets of the nation's capital. Sources provide a vivid picture of the scale. It's expected to feature approximately 150 military vehicles, including the imposing M1A2 Abrams tanks, each weighing around 70 tons or 140,000 pounds. Accompanying this formidable display will be an estimated 6,600 soldiers marching in historical uniforms from various eras, celebrating the evolution of the Army. Adding to the visual grandeur, an impressive 50 aircraft are scheduled to participate in a coordinated flyover, taking off from Joint Base Andrews and flying in formation above the parade route. This vast display will unfold along a critical stretch of the National Mall, specifically along Constitution Avenue NW between 15th and 23rd Streets, covering approximately 0.89 miles. For those planning to attend this unique celebration, it's worth noting that while admission is free and open to the public, registration is highly encouraged for quicker security processing, an understandable measure given the anticipated crowds. The day's festivities are scheduled to commence with guest entry at 2 p.m., the parade itself will kick off at 6:30 p.m., and the entire celebration is expected to conclude around 9:30 p.m. Now let's delve into the core of our financial analysis, the numbers that have everyone talking. The projected cost for this singular event, according to Heather J. Hagan, U.S. Army Public Affairs spokeswoman, is estimated to fall within a wide range between $25 million and $45 million. Other sources corroborate this, frequently citing the upper limit, stating the parade will reportedly cost taxpayers up to $45 million. To truly grasp the magnitude of this expenditure in a localized context, a detailed analysis by the Hearst Television Data Team calculated that the average cost per mere zero point 0.1 mile of the parade route could range significantly from $2.7 million to $5 million. This gives you an idea of the density of the financial outlay per linear foot of the procession.
It's crucial for us as financially savvy citizens to understand what this substantial cost covers, and perhaps even more critically, what it explicitly does not. Of the estimated $45 million, a significant portion, approximately $16 million, is specifically earmarked for repairing streets that the parade's heavy military vehicles, such as those 70-ton Abrams tanks, are expected to potentially damage. Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser has publicly voiced her well-founded concerns about this potential road damage, prompting the Army to promise to cover repair costs. They also plan to take proactive precautionary measures, including placing 1-inch thick steel plates in 13 key turning locations along the route and attaching new rubber pads to the tanks to minimize surface impact. However, and this is a vital point of contention, this current cost estimate reportedly does not even include additional expenses for necessary cleanup operations or an increased police presence, suggesting that the final bill could and likely will balloon even further beyond the $45 million projection. Furthermore, the logistical impact extends beyond the ground, as Ronald Reagan National Airport is expected to halt all flights for up to 4 hours on June 14th to accommodate the extensive military flyovers, planned parachute jumps, and celebratory fireworks displays. The timing of this parade has undoubtedly raised eyebrows across the political spectrum. While it is indeed being held to celebrate the Army's 250th birthday, it also happens to coincide with President Donald Trump's 79th birthday, as well as Flag Day. Though the parade hasn't been officially linked to President Trump's birthday by its organizers, its scale and specific timing are certainly notable and have drawn considerable attention. Sources indicate that this ambitious parade was not an initial component of the Army's original anniversary plans. Rather, it was recently added to the itinerary. Its inclusion now marks the culmination of a long-standing desire President Trump expressed during his first term in office. He was reportedly deeply impressed by France's elaborate Bastille Day parade in 2017, and subsequently directed the Pentagon in 2018 to plan a similar military procession. It's worth recalling that this earlier proposal for a Veterans Day parade in 2018 was ultimately canceled because its projected costs skyrocketed to an astounding $92 million, nearly double the current estimate. Historically, while other presidents have participated in various military parades, there simply is no established precedent for such a large-scale military parade featuring heavy tracked armored vehicles held specifically on a president's birthday in the United States. This type of celebration, as one source notes, is more commonly associated with authoritarian regimes, a stark point that has fueled much of the public debate. For context, the last significant military parade in Washington, D.C. took place over 30 decades ago, in 1991, following the swift victory of Operation Desert Storm in the Gulf War. The controversy surrounding this parade's spending has become a major flashpoint primarily because it unfolds against a backdrop where the Trump administration is implementing significant and widespread funding cuts across various government programs, including departments as crucial as the Defense Department itself. Members of the House Armed Services Committee have expressed deep and vocal concerns, arguing quite forcefully that the money allocated for this parade could be far better spent on other critical and immediate priorities, particularly improving the dismal conditions of troops' barracks or enhancing vital warfighting capabilities. For instance, Representative Salud Carbajal, a Democrat representing California, openly and directly questioned the appropriateness of this additional parade cost. His concern was heightened by the fact that all military services are currently facing substantial 8% budget cuts. He challenged Army Secretary Daniel Driscoll quite pointedly, asking what the secretary would prioritize if Congress were to hand him a blank check for $45 million. Secretary Driscoll, in his defense of the parade, asserted that it offers a crucial and unparalleled opportunity to educate the broader public about the Army's role and capabilities. He explicitly stated, and I quote, "I believe very specifically that telling that story will directly lead to a recruiting boom and will fill up our pipeline for the coming years." However, this justification immediately faced sharp scrutiny from other lawmakers. General Randy George, the Chief of Staff of the Army, along with Secretary Driscoll, had just informed lawmakers that the Army had in fact already successfully met its recruiting goal for the year, securing an impressive 61,000 recruits. This surprising disclosure prompted Representative Wesley Bell, a Democrat from Missouri, to pose a very direct and pertinent question. Why, then, was the parade necessary for recruitment if goals had already been met and recruiting efforts were already surging successfully? Despite this logical counterpoint, Driscoll steadfastly maintained that the Army believes the parade, quote, will empower an entire new generation of America's youth to catch the spirit to serve their nation, end quote. On the opposing side, Representative Derek Van Orden, a Republican from Wisconsin, firmly defended the parade spending, famously stating that you cannot put a price tag on patriotism. This sentiment often encapsulates the argument for such national displays, emphasizing intangible benefits over direct financial ROI. Beyond the parade's direct cost, lawmakers also brought forth a separate but significantly related financial issue, a recent request to shift approximately $1 billion from various crucial accounts, notably including base housing, to support southern border defense. This proposed reallocation directly impacts the day-to-day quality of life for countless service members and their families, as military base housing nationwide has notoriously been plagued by persistent and severe problems such as pervasive mold, widespread rodent infestations, and even raw sewage issues. Representative Don Bacon, a Republican from Nebraska, while acknowledging the legitimate need for border security, expressed that this decision profoundly undermined a year-long concerted bipartisan effort to diligently address these long-standing housing problems. General George, under direct questioning from Representative Carbajal, admitted the severe impact of redirecting this money on barracks improvements, stating candidly, "If we took $1 billion out of barracks, we would be able to fix less barracks," while simultaneously acknowledging the difficult choices that must be made in budget allocation. This illuminates the tough trade-offs inherent in national defense spending.
Now let's turn our attention to the absolutely crucial concept of opportunity cost. This is where the financial implications of the parade truly come into sharp focus. What else, specifically, could that $45 million pay for? Especially when considering the pressing and immediate needs in various sectors across our society. The Southern Poverty Law Center, a reputable nonprofit organization, among others, has highlighted several compelling alternatives to this single military parade, vividly demonstrating the tangible and far-reaching positive impact these exact funds could have on communities nationwide. Firstly, consider the immense potential in education. That $45 million, for instance, could purchase more than 14 million lunches for high school students. Based on the School Nutrition Association's national average price of $3.20 per high school lunch, this is an absolutely staggering figure that could directly address food insecurity for countless students across the country. Imagine the profound relief, the improved concentration, and the enhanced nutritional benefits for millions of young people if those funds were strategically directed toward this fundamental, basic human need. This isn't just about providing meals, it's about investing in the future health and academic success of our youth. Moving seamlessly to the critical sector of healthcare, that $45 million could fund comprehensive Medicaid coverage for nearly 6,000 eligible individuals for an entire year. The figures from KFF data illustrate the significant impact. Medicaid spending per enrollee in 2021 was an average of $7,593 for all eligibility groups. If we strategically narrow that focus to children, a demographic that frequently comprises a very significant portion of Medicaid recipients and represents a vulnerable population, close to 14,900 children could be covered for a full year nationally. The impact becomes even more profound when considering specific regions. In states like Alabama, where children remarkably account for over half of all Medicaid recipients, an incredible more than 21,700 children could receive vital medical coverage for an entire year at a lower average cost of $2,069 per child. These numbers represent not just vital access to medical care, but also crucial preventative services, early interventions, and overall well-being for thousands upon thousands of vulnerable individuals and their families, potentially averting health crises and improving long-term outcomes. In the realm of housing, a persistent challenge in many communities, that same $45 million could provide essential subsidized housing assistance for more than 4,500 households in Georgia for a full year. According to USA Facts, the Department of Housing and Urban Development contributed an average of $830 per month per household, or $9,960 per year, to supplement the rent paid by people living in subsidized housing in 2023. This kind of targeted investment could make an absolutely profound difference in addressing the persistent issues of homelessness and housing instability, offering secure, stable, and affordable living environments to thousands of families who desperately need them, thereby fostering community stability and economic participation. For our nation's veterans, a demographic that has made immense sacrifices and unequivocally deserves our utmost support and comprehensive care, $45 million could cover an entire year of disability compensation for more than 7,200 military veterans with a combined disability rating of up to 50%. A detailed 2024 USA Facts analysis, drawing from data from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, indicates that the average annual veteran disability compensation payment for those with up to a 50% disability rating ranges significantly from $1,425 to $48,277 per person. This funding could provide absolutely crucial and well deserved financial support to those who have bravely served our country and are now living with disabilities, ensuring they receive the full compensation and dignity they are due for their service and sacrifice. And finally, concerning food assistance, a fundamental pillar of public welfare, $45 million could significantly contribute to feeding nearly 17,700 people for an entire year through the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, widely known as SNAP. The U.S. Department of Agriculture's Economic Research Service reported that in fiscal year 2023, SNAP benefits averaged $211.93 per participant per month. This program serves as an essential lifeline for many families and individuals struggling with acute food insecurity, and such a substantial allocation could help ensure that thousands have consistent and reliable access to nutritious meals throughout the year, alleviating hunger and its associated detrimental effects on health and well-being. The stark contrast between these potential tangible investments in human welfare and the considerable cost of a single military parade vividly highlights the complex and often contentious financial choices that governments face. While proponents steadfastly argue for the parade's symbolic value, its role in boosting morale, and its perceived potential recruitment benefits for the Army, critics vehemently point to the substantial opportunity cost. They emphasize the immediate, tangible needs that could be met with the exact same funds, advocating for a reallocation to more direct and impactful public services. Adding another layer of nuance to this already complex discussion, the fact that the Oklahoma National Guard has explicitly stated it will not participate in this parade further underscores the varied perspectives on the event, even within the military community and red states that might typically be expected to embrace such displays. Colonel Kristen Chitcher, Chief of Public Affairs for the Oklahoma National Guard, confirmed their non-participation on June 7, 2025, a decision that speaks volumes about the diverse opinions and priorities, even within the military itself, regarding this specific event. Ultimately, this ongoing discussion isn't merely about a parade. It's about a much broader and more profound evaluation of the most effective, ethical, and impactful ways to utilize public funds. Is the critical message of patriotism and national strength best conveyed through a costly, singular display of military might that lasts a few hours? Or through sustained and meaningful investments that directly improve the lives and fundamental well-being of countless citizens, including the very veterans who have served our nation? The passionate debate over this estimated $45 million military parade forces us as a society to confront these fundamental questions about our national priorities, our fiscal responsibility, and the ultimate purpose of government spending. It prompts us to deeply consider whether such an elaborate, potentially once-in-a-lifetime event truly serves the nation's broader best interests when set against the undeniable backdrop of persistent social and economic challenges that could be significantly addressed with the very same financial resources. The steadfast decision by the Army, reportedly heavily influenced by President Donald Trump's long-standing personal desire to replicate the grandeur he famously observed in France, to proceed with this parade, despite previous cancellations due to overwhelming cost concerns, indicates a powerful and unwavering commitment to this particular form of national display, seemingly irrespective of the financial implications and the vociferous criticisms regarding these alternative, vital uses of funds. This makes the financial discussion all the more critical for our audience to understand. Thank you for tuning in to Financial Podcast. I sincerely hope this detailed analysis has provided you with a much clearer and more comprehensive understanding of the financial considerations and the ongoing, multifaceted debate surrounding the upcoming military parade. We encourage all of our listeners to continue researching, engaging in thoughtful discussion, and forming your own well-informed conclusions on how our collective public resources should be most effectively and responsibly utilized. Until next time, stay informed, continue to think critically about public finance, and always strive to make sound financial decisions.